Hi there, welcome back to my channel. It's James here. I hope you're doing okay. Yeah, here we are for another video. So, sorry if I sound like I have a cold. I have a little bit of a cold, so yep, that's gonna happen. We're gonna do a little bit of everything today. Well, two things essentially. I have 3 boxes that I'm gonna unbox for you and me because I'm excited about because I'm excited. And then I'm going to review a humidifier that I've had for a few months that was sent to me by a company called Elechomes, I think. Is that how you say it? Yeah, Elechomes. I've had it for about 3 months and I've kind of been putting off reviewing it just because I only ran into issues with my other humidifier, my Levoit humidifier, after about half a year. So I don't think it's fair to immediately review something like this. You have to give it kind of time for something to go wrong so that you know what the pros and the cons are for the product. But I'm going to kind of do an introductory review here, and if there are things that happen over the next couple of months, I will update. So I'm going to open one of the boxes, we'll talk about the humidifier, and then I'll finish with the other 2 boxes. So yeah, feel free to jump around to whatever you're interested in within this video. Also, I've had a couple of questions about this Monstera. You can see it's very unceremoniously tied together at the top because it's getting way too big for this pole. We've had this for about, it's also in a teeny tiny pot. We've had this for about a year, and we were looking back at pictures from when it arrived, and this leaf here was the topmost leaf, so it has done quite a lot of growing. Obviously not under optimal conditions because the leaves are not very highly fenestrated until you get up to like way up here. They're starting to fenestrate, but it was really like sort of the runt of the bunch. It was the only one left in this particular shop in London, and I was having a really bad day, just like, you know, when the world is not good, and my partner got this and surprised me with it. So it was a lovely thing, and it's been at his, which is why you haven't seen it before, but now that he's here for sort of lockdown, it has been in my videos, but it will be disappearing, unfortunately, at some point back up to his. So you will not see it for a little while, probably. Probably next week will be the last time that you see this Monstera for a while. I will talk you through each of the shops. This is a big one. So this is the first one I'm going to open. This one is from OrchidsNL. It's a sort of specialist orchids online shop. This kind of represents all of the things minus begonia. There are no begonia here, but the main sort of areas of plants that I've been interested in over the past couple of months. In here we have 3 orchids and something else, and then we've got a Hoya and we've got a philodendron. Yeah, we're missing just a couple more aroids just to balance it out. It's opened, no need for you to watch me struggle with that. I've ordered from this shop once before, just to get sphagnum moss. I spoke about that in my sphagnum moss video, and I have got a little bit of a top up here. So there's a 40 litre sphagnum moss bag, which is some of the best sphagnum moss that I have used myself, dried sphagnum moss. I'm kind of leaning towards using a little bit more live sphagnum moss, just because I think aesthetically it looks really nice as well when you've got like growing sphagnum, and I think it holds onto moisture just a little bit a little bit better than the dried stuff. But for now, there are relatively few foreign bodies in this sphagnum, so that's really nice. It's easy to kind of manipulate the nutrients in there. Right, let's look at the rest of the stuff in here. So there's loads of newspaper. Let's just stick that over there and clear it up in a second. And right here we have the 3 orchids. So there are, I've been getting into orchids over the past couple of months. I've had orchids forever basically, but they've always just been like your sort of phalaenopsis that you get in every shop. And I've kind of liked them. I've rebloomed them many times, but yeah, I didn't really have any here. Most of them were back at my parents' in France. So I wanted to kind of revamp that and get into some of the more interesting ones. So I've been getting into a lot of miniature orchids. I have quite a few of those, and I realized that I have few jewel orchids. So I wanted to get a couple of those, and then just one. Let's leave that till the last because that one I'm excited about. And we'll look at the 2 jewel orchids that I got first. I will eventually do like an orchid collection video, but I'm kind of just giving myself time to understand how they work a little bit better, because I'm sure that caring for like your basic orchid does not translate to every single orchid, so I kind of want to give myself time to understand the intricacies of their care. So this first one is, oh, this is absolutely amazing. Oh my goodness. I did not expect it to be this beautiful, and it is like a dark velvety leaf with kind of fiery red lightning bolts all over it. It is amazing. I have, there's a little bit of probably just fertilizer marking on the leaf there, but it is beautiful, really compact, really healthy looking, like super nice leaves. And yeah, I love that. It's beautiful, definitely more beautiful than I thought. Oh, I'm so excited. Yeah, orchids are just amazing, so cool. That is absolutely amazing. Velvety leaves, red patterning, super nice, and like a dark red backing to the leaf. Very excited about this. The only other jewel orchid I have at the moment is the Macodes petola. There's another Macodes in here which we'll talk about in a second, but this is just lovely. So I'll pop that down there and we'll have a look at the second jewel orchid. So this is the Macodes sanderiana, I think I'm saying that right. Ooh, yeah, so nice as well. Also incredibly healthy. A little bit smaller than I thought. Yeah, Macodes sanderiana. Slightly smaller than expected, but beautiful anyway. It is similar. Is it going to focus? Potentially. No. Anyway, probably back here is where you're going to see it best. This is similar to the petola. It's got slightly different patterning. It's got slightly different coloring. It's kind of like a reddy orange with like a really nice intense green midrib. And yeah, I am very excited about this as well. I kind of have just about cracked my Macodes petola. It didn't do anything for about 8 months, maybe. And I realized that it was too low light, and 2, I just wasn't keeping it wet enough. Obviously there was probably a little bit of shipping stress involved, but not that much, not 8 months worth. So I now have it like pretty much, it's very close to my south facing window. It is shaded, so it's indirect light, but it gets some really nice bright light. I'm going mad with my light meter at the moment. I'm just going around. Since I got this grow tent that I talked about in my previous video, I've been super into like working out the light intensity, the volume, blah, all that kind of stuff. I'll probably talk about that a little bit more, my very basic understanding of it, when I actually review that grow light in a couple of months' time. But yeah, I have my jewel orchids kind of in bright indirect light, and I've been keeping them super fertilized and very moist. So hopefully the same treatment works for these guys. They're so pretty. Great, 2 little jewel orchids. And the final one is Phalaenopsis, and it is the Phalaenopsis hunidifier X, so crossed with something. I'm sure it will say on the label. But I've been seeing this a fair bit on Instagram recently, and it's got some really cool blooms, sort of like purpley, greeny, lovely. So there's not it doesn't look like a huge amount yet here. Oh, there is a flower spike though. Super cool. It's got some nice big orchidy leaves, really pretty, and yeah, in a nice airy mix. It is the Phalaenopsis hunidifier crossed with SIB, S-I-B. I don't know very much about orchid hybrids, but I'm excited to see what this one does. So I'm just going to treat this like my other Phalaenopsis and kind of basically just kindly neglect it unless it tells me that that's what it does not want. So yeah, super nice. 3rd orchid there. That's it. That's the first box done. Fabulous. Those are to the side. We have 2 more boxes to do, but we're just going to talk about this humidifier quickly. So like I said at the start, this is the Elechomes humidifier. I was going to either leave this for a specific humidifier review comparison video, or I was going to talk about it when I did my in-depth philodendron care video, which is one that's coming in the next couple of weeks / a month or so. I'm just waiting for a couple of nice big leaves so I can show those. Yeah, so this is, I'll show you. This is the humidifier. Design is very similar to like Le Lavoie. So this is Elechomes' take on that one. It is the 6 litre. It is, it's the UC5501. And it is really nice. I kind of love the design. It's very overexposed, but you can kind of see that it's very clean. The display is up here when it's switched on, and it is red, sort of orangey red. I think it would look nicer blue, but maybe they couldn't do that because Lavoie has already done that. I'm going to really briefly go through this because I don't want to spend too much time until I've had longer to review this, because I honestly don't think 3 months for something like this is enough. I've kind of just got an initial impression, and that's what I'm going to share with you. The pros, I've got things written down here, that's why I'm looking down. The size, obviously, 6 litres, it means you don't have to refill it so often. I keep my humidifiers running quite low during the summer, if I have them on at all. I haven't honestly had this on very much, but when I do have it on, it is on around 55–60%, so it's not doing a huge amount of work, so I can kind of leave it for about a week before I have to refill it. And I have 2 in the same room, so sometimes this one runs out and it stays empty for 2 weeks while the other one runs out, but that's okay. Oh, I love the design. Like I said, this is a really, really nice one. The Levoit, for anyone who has it, it is really, really annoying sometimes to refill. It's got a little screw on the bottom of the tank that you have to open, and mine gets jammed all the time, and it's hard to open. This one is a top filler, so you literally just pull out this little thing and you fill it up with water and stick it back inside, and it is fantastic. And that, I think, is a massive, massive advantage for most people. It's quite intuitive control-wise. Like, obviously it's very well labeled. You can't really see because the lighting is there we go. But yeah, it's got all your typical things, the same as the other models that are similar. It's got a child lock, which is a new feature. If you have a child and you don't want them fiddling with your plants, that is a good one. It's got a sleep mode, so the display switches off. It's got heating, so you can decide whether you want cool or warm mist. It's got humidity level, so you can go from, I think, 30% to 80%, which is just a little bit more range than my other humidifier. It's got, that's the screen off. Sleep actually isn't the screen off. Oops, I haven't used most of these functions, they're just here. It's got a timer, which I have used, and obviously an on-off, and also a remote control. So you don't have to walk all the way over to it and do your things there. Cons, there are only a couple. It is a bit harder to clean because of this thing. When you're cleaning, you've got to get all the way down inside there, and it's a little bit more fiddly, I think. Just a tiny bit, like it's really not dramatic. And the second one, I have already started running into issues with this, and I don't think it's a cleanliness thing because I actually just recently cleaned it. And I try to use filtered waters as much as possible, not that it makes a huge difference, but yeah, it started to, I will contact the company about this. They were a little bit like pushy to get something out there, which I completely understand because they sent me this for free, but it has meant that I haven't been able to get this problem resolved with them. So when I do in my next video, I will talk about it then. It has kind of started just switching off randomly. I don't know why. My Levoit started doing this a little while ago, but for that one, it was very clearly a cleaning issue. I hadn't replaced the little filter thing regularly enough, but as soon as I did that and gave it a good clean, it worked. This is clean, and it just decides that it wants to switch off, so I'm not 100% sure why it's doing that, but I will get in touch with the company and see if I can sort that out and update everyone on it. Overall, I'm super impressed. I think I may prefer this to the Levoit, just on sort of going by how it looks. I think it's a little bit quieter, maybe. It's very, very hard to tell. I tried to like compare, but there's almost nothing in it at all. It's a little bit slower to get going, I think. I noticed this when I very first switched it on. When you start it up, this one kind of has like a build up, so it starts with a really, really small amount of mist, and then as everything starts to get going, it gets really, really like billowy and lovely. And I love that, like when you go into the room and you're like just sat there with the plants and there's like the mist draping down. But yeah, I think it's great. So if you are looking for a humidifier, I will put the link for this one down below, and it is like, it's the same price range of all the others. You're looking at sort of, I got my Levoit discounted. This one was obviously sent to me, but you're looking at between sort of 60 and 90 pounds, euros, dollars, whatever. Yeah, so it's relatively accessible, I think, and it is definitely a good investment depending on what kind of plants you're growing. I think if you're just growing philodendron, you don't necessarily need one of these, especially during the summertime, but if you're growing like anthurium, begonia potentially, you probably will want Hoya. Definitely, they really, really like the humidity. And it has a nice flat lid, which is a little bit marked because I have been using it to stick pots on. But when I have something that's feeling a little bit ill or needs a little bit of recovery time, I just stick it on top of the humidifier. And if it's on warm humidity, it warms the plant and it also keeps it super, super humid. So that's just an extra little thing you can think about. Let's stop talking about this humidifier. I'm definitely happy with it. And I will keep you updated as we learn more about it. So let's finish off with the last two boxes. We have a Hoya and a philodendron. So let's leave the philodendron till last. This is a Hoya. This is from Plants and Interior, Plant and Interior, it says on the box, yeah. Struggling a little bit with this box. I feel like I don't want to cut my fingers off. Okay, let's just force it a little bit. Okay, so Plants and Interior. This is a shop based in the Netherlands as well, so it's same as OrchidsNL. And yeah, I found it because I was on a Facebook page and someone was like, oh, does anyone know where I can get a variegated Hoya bella? And someone recommended this and I was like, I'll have that too, please. So this is an Albo marginata, a variegated bella, but it is not the inside variegation, it's the outside of the leaf, hence the margin in that name. So let's take it out and have a little look. I'm super excited about this. I did message him about the other variety. I think it's the Louis Bois Hoya, which is the inside variegated one. Ooh, this is lovely. So there you go. It's in its little plastic sachet, keeping it nice and humid, and it's got the lovely variegation around the outside of the leaves. I'm very excited about this. I'm very excited about Hoya in general at the moment, and I have many Hoya and more arriving. So this is going to be a welcome addition, and hopefully it will give me a fair bit of growth before the growing season leaves us. So yeah, that's great. Fourth plant for today, that is a Hoya bella. And the last plant, let's just get straight into it because I know that this video is now getting long. Ideally, we want to try and keep this sort of around the 20-minute mark. So this last one is very exciting. This is probably, I don't know, it's hard to say that. This is one of the more exciting purchases recently. Yeah, and the reason why so many of these are coming at the same time is because I finally got paid after like a 2-month pause, struggles of being self-employed. So everything kind of just got bought at the same time. And yeah, so here we are. This is from Plant Collector. Massive fan. I've spoken about them before. I will definitely do a review video on this shop. This is not one of the cheapest plants, you will see, but it is super exciting. I'm very excited. This is one packaged in completely biodegradable packaging, which is very rare and definitely something that more shops should probably be moving towards. But I can imagine it's quite difficult with particularly things like that Hoya to keep it humid enough during traveling. It's very difficult, but there are ways. So this is a philodendron longilobatum, which is basically a long-lobed philodendron. And it is super cool, very exciting. I've been after one of this for a little while. It's kind of like the UPI train. Since getting into the UPI, all of these long-leaved, interesting phyllos have become very interesting to me. So this is longilobatum, definitely not a cheap plant, but I think definitely worth it, and I'm super excited. Ooh, look at those healthy little roots. Can you see in there? That is fantastic. Yeah, very excited about this, very excited. So this is obviously quite a small plant, but these leaves can get absolutely massive, super, super long, really interesting kind of ruffled edges. Again, that really, really skinny kind of leaf shape like the UPI. So I imagine it will get massive again like the UPI, so it's probably one that will need to be cut at some point, but up until that point, I'm very excited. So yeah, that is the final plant for today. Sorry about such a long video. I hope you stuck around for all of that. Yeah, thank you so much for watching. I will probably do another one of these in a couple of days or for next week because I've got some more plants arriving toward the end of this week. It's been a little bit of like I bought too many plants basically, but it's okay because I can film myself unboxing them and use that as content. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to see updates on these plants, please check out my Instagram @slugplants. Subscribe to this channel if you want to, hit the bell icon, give it a thumbs up, that's super, super helpful, and I will see you very soon. Have a lovely, whatever time of day it is. Bye-bye.